But without further ado, we do have to address something. Taxes are a complete scam, as always. But you do have to pay your crypto taxes. Yeah, give a round of applause, because taxes are a legit scam. And the Fed, all of that fun stuff. But unfortunately, we do have to pay our crypto taxes because nobody in here needs to get gaffled up. So without further ado, we have Ben Armstrong, BitBoy Crypto, and Clifton to talk about crypto taxes. Shout out to CryptoTaxAudit.
Hey. Wow, that's really loud. What time is our cutoff here, by the way? No, but what time, how long do we have? Oh, we have 16 minutes. Holy crap, we're running out of time, folks. This is bad. Welcome. My name is Ben Armstrong. I am with a little bitty channel called BitBoy Crypto. I'm here with Clinton Donnelly. You want to talk a little bit about, they know me. Tell them who you are.
My name is Clinton Donnelly. I run a company called CryptoTaxAudit. We've been doing crypto tax returns since 2018, and now we're specializing. We've extended our practice to defend people being audited by the IRS. It's such a need, and we have an insurance product that basically helps people do that.
Yeah, well, obviously, crypto taxes are a question that we get asked a lot about in the world of, crypto influencing or, kick down your door journalism, like I call it now. But the fact is that this is a very misunderstood, topic, because I'm not a tax expert. How many of you guys in here are not tax experts? Virtually everybody, right? So the idea that I can explain to you how exactly you should be doing your crypto taxes, like that just doesn't fly. So we have to go to the experts that have the background in this. And when it comes to I want to share, before we get into letting you speak and answer some of these questions, I want to just give everybody an anecdote of something that happened to me last week, which is I sat down with a couple FBI agents, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, and had a conversation with them about various topics. One of the FBI agents was also a former IRS special agent. And this is the conversation, this is the question that I asked them, and this is their answer, and I'm going to let you comment on it, okay? I said, look, who is the IRS going after when it comes to crypto taxes? And she said, if you're trying to do the right thing and you're trying in your best judgment to follow the law, if you are using a CPA and that CPA maybe makes some mistakes, but it's not malicious, they're not literally trying to hide, then most likely you're going to be okay. They want to go after tax evaders. Everybody feels a little antsy in the space because the rules are not super clear. That's why we need the experts. But I think people that go into this of the idea that, oh, I'm in crypto, so they're definitely going to arrest me because my CPA made one little mistake here or there, that's not reality. But you do have to do the best of your ability. So I want to share that with you guys because I know a lot of people are always antsy about this topic. I don't think you need to be as antsy as you think you do, as long as you're not doing things literally illegal on purpose. What are your thoughts on that, Clinton?
That's very true. I've listened to the director of the IRS Criminal Investigation Group. He said, our goal is to encourage people to be compliant. We know from statistics that the IRS provided, there's roughly 33 million crypto owners, according to the Gemini research. We know that only about 8,000 or 8 million people had actually checked the box, yes, on the tax return that I handle virtual currency. That means we're in the neighborhood of 25 million taxpayers, adults in the U.S. that are acting fraudulently on their tax return. And I talk to a lot of them. A lot of them are, I filed my tax return, I just don't tell them about my crypto. Or I only tell them about some of my crypto. Yeah. Or I know major influencers who just don't file tax returns. And when you start doing that, you fall into a dark hole you can't get out of. Yeah. Because you don't want to file the next year because you didn't say the year before. And you don't know how to get back to a safe place. And it's a scary thing. I have a client who had 2 IRS criminal investigation agents come to his door, these guys with the guns and the badges, and they wanted to talk to him about his tax return or the lack thereof. He called me after he pled guilty to tax evasion.
Oh, wow.
The IRS, everybody should understand this, that the government, the IRS commission, the IRS brings in $4 trillion of revenue to the U.S. government. The commissioner said, I can bring in $1 trillion more if you give me the money to go after criminal enforcement. And on August 16th, Congress did that. They gave what's equivalent to 3 times the budget of the FBI to the IRS to go after criminal enforcement. You don't report your cryptos, they consider that a crime. It's a felony, and it also comes with a $250,000 penalty if you are actively and willfully not reporting. But you're absolutely right, Ben.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that just don't know. They're overly cautious or afraid, or in your accounts are confused. Do your best.
Yeah. And I think I would say a lot of those people that probably did not check the box that they should have, I would say most of them were probably in the camp of like, I got $100 in Dogecoin. It's worth 12 cents now, but I'm just not going to mark it down. I think that when you're looking at people that are intentionally and willfully doing that for tax evasion, you're probably looking at bigger amounts. And we've always told people since the beginning of my channel, pay your taxes. You need to pay your taxes. If you don't pay your taxes, there's no point in making gigantic gains if you're going to have to hand them back over because of enforcement. But let's tackle this, Clinton. Let's go from the perspective of how many people in the audience got in crypto in the last 11 months since the beginning of this year? One guy. Literally was that one guy. This is the bear market, guys. I love all the people here. That was awesome. So this is for you. This is for the one guy, okay? You got somebody who's newer to crypto. They haven't ever filed taxes before when it comes to this world. What do they need to know as we head towards the end of the year, and next year he'll have to file taxes on his crypto this year?
Let's just talk simply about how cryptos are considered property, and you're taxed on your income. You don't make income from property until you sell it, okay? Now, in the tax code, when it uses the word sell, it says sell or exchange. Now, in our crypto parlance, we use words like swap, trade, this and that. They're all the same thing to the IRS. When I trade Bitcoin for Ethereum, that's a taxable event. I have actually sold, in a sense, I've sold my Bitcoin, and I experienced hopefully a gain or maybe a loss. So this is very key. A lot of people think I'm only taxed when I bring it to fiat, and that's a major mistake. In terms of, as you start to understand, that's how I'm taxed. And if I get rewards, however you look at that, that's income as it occurs to me because I didn't do anything for it, it's given to me. That also is taxed as your ordinary income, just like where dollars earned at a job. And in terms of preparing your tax return, it can be very confusing. If anyone's used these crypto gain calculation software, which is kind of beat your head into a wall, I would just give you this advice. At least on your tax return, report the amount of income that you believe here you made, all right? Because you know more about your taxes than anyone else. You know how much you gain. And if you say, hey, I made $20,000 this year, just report $20,000 at your gain. Don't worry about the rest of the numbers. We can get, as long as you're honest with how much you gain, then you'll pay a fair amount of tax. Because using those gain calculation numbers sometimes can, I've had people call me up and they said, hey, I just ran token tax and they say I owe $100 million. Yeah. And what do I do with that? And especially if you're doing DeFi, you're doing anything off, not from a centralized exchange, it becomes extremely complicated to use those services. So just pay what you believe you made.
Yeah. Well, I think that, you bring up a really good point. Like you talk to somebody, they run the software, and they're like, oh my gosh, it says I owe $100 million, but I'm working at McDonald's. It doesn't make sense now. So, because that's the meme, everybody works at McDonald's because we're all poor. Can somebody laugh at that? Those are my people. Appreciate y'all. Wow, that was a too high level joke for some of y'all low IQ people. But so Clint, let's talk about this. When you start talking about this stuff to people, or even when you're in front of me, you're talking, my head starts swimming. Why are crypto taxes so boring?
Taxes are sexy.
Whoa.
People come to me and they start telling me
like,
the dirty things they've done. Criminal things. They, just like when you go to a doctor and they say, take off all your clothes, and all of a sudden you're naked in front of a strange doctor. They tell me things. It's something that gets the taxes are the primary way each one of us intersects the government in our lives. Yeah. That's the number one way. And it's scary because you got to know accounting. There's words like gain, adjusted gross income. It's a little intimidating because not everybody has a numbers orientation. And our tax code is quite complicated. And it's not the IRS that makes it complicated, it's Congress. Congress makes it complicated. So yeah, that's what makes people agitated. Plus, most crypto investors, I'd be interested in your thought, most crypto investors, this is the first investing that they've ever done.
Yeah,
you know,
it was really, for me.
They're not coming from stocks, they're not retail, real estate flippers. No, yeah, this is their first entrance into it. So these are all new experiences.
Oh, I do look good. I just saw myself back there. I didn't know I was back there looking. I can't see my face. That's sad.
So I think that's part of it. It's everybody's entering in a new financial journey in their lives.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, I can say for myself, that's 100% accurate. If you would have told me 10 years ago that I would be talking about finance, I would have laughed. It was the most boring thing I had ever heard of in my entire life, and it still is a little boring. But you know, the idea here is when you're looking at the complications of the tax codes, and when we're looking at crypto, I want to know from you, in your opinion, what is the #1 thing that the Congress needs to do in order to simplify the crypto tax code? Get rid of them?
As you think about the mass adoption of blockchain technology into all aspects of life, we simply cannot tax everything. When I said that right now there's 33 million investors, well, you know, in a couple more years, we're going to have 100 million. 2/3 of all taxpayers will be crypto traders. If they don't do something about the law and simplification of it, Congress will, by default, turn its entire population into tax evaders, especially the younger generation who have never filed taxes.
Yeah.
You know, they came from McDonald's, they take your money, we're at risk of creating a generation of tax evaders. And how do you bring them back into compliance? Vilifying and throwing them into jail is not the way to do it. We're going to have to get a better system.
Yeah, we don't have the resources to do that. Even if they double the staff of the IRS, they don't have enough to throw everybody in jail. And I think that's, for a long time in crypto, that was kind of our viewpoint. Like, if you go back to when I got in crypto or Bitcoin in 2012, I think, what is it, previous to 2015, people were grandfathered in, didn't have to pay taxes on capital gains and stuff like that? Grandfathered in.
No, that'd be a mistake.
Yeah.
The laws haven't changed. You know, the understanding of it is.
There was a moment when the IRS made it change, like
2014.
There you go.
They made it clear.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Nobody's coming after me for my 2012 Bitcoin that I bought and sold, I don't think. Hopefully. Where's the IRS? Are they here?
Well, I will say this. The IRS is still auditing 2017.
This is the point. They don't have the resources. So even if they were to double their staff, which they're doing, right, they still don't have enough resources to go after everybody. But for the people that are here, you know, if you've done well and you've made money in crypto, then you are opening yourself up, you know, by making mistakes right now. We haven't felt the full reverberating effects of the tax code when they're still living in 2017. Do you think that the crypto tax code will get simplified in order for them to be able to better apply their resources? Does that make sense?
I think what we're going to see as they go to the CBDCs.
Yeah.
Now, they don't want to tax CBDCs as property.
Let's give it up for CBDCs.
I think this is going to be an issue. One of the biggest problem I see from a tax perspective is that none of the blockchains are instrumented with information for tax knowledge. For example, I send ETH to OpenSea to buy an NFT, and days later the NFT shows up on my blockchain, having come from a different address. The blockchain doesn't connect these two events.
Yeah.
And so it's really a lousy ledger from an accounting point of view for that point. I think you will see with the USDC, I think you're going to see more instrumentation. I think it'll be a trendsetter back into the.
Now, you said USDC. You believe USDC is going to be the
CBDC?
CBDC?
Not USDC. I'm sorry. I'm just nervous.
Might have been a Freudian slip. I think it will be. Well, he knows. It's this guy, my guy Clinton. He works for CBDC. Look, I think that when we're looking at tax laws, you know, it is very complicated. They do have to be made easier over time. The CBDCs will definitely, I think CBDCs, as bad as they are, and we don't want them. Who in here wants a CBDC? Yeah, you want to make it out of this room alive, you better not raise your hand. but the fact is that nobody wants them. But I do think, actually, in a weird way, as we do move towards a digital dollar and digital wallets, I do think it will actually help with the knowledge of how to use crypto, which is kind of a sick, twisted thing, you know. But I believe that we will see that. Now, when it comes to CBDCs and when it comes to crypto taxes, do you think once we move towards a totally digital dollar, how will that change the way the taxes are done? I know that's a big question. Because it's all there. All the information is there now. It doesn't have to be a paper trail.
Well, what the IRS would like, and what a lot of countries in Europe are doing, is, let me phrase this back. The U.S. tax code is a voluntary tax code. You tell the IRS how much money you made, and you voluntarily pay the tax.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they audit to ensure that people are compliant. Over in Europe, the taxman already has instrumented access into your bank. I can say this for Spain in particular. I know a lot about Spain. The taxman can sit down at his terminal and say, all right, Ben Armstrong, boom, boom, I can see all your bank accounts.
They cut off all my bank accounts.
And I can see how much, I can analyze it, I can see how much money you're spending on rent, how much utilities. But Ben, I don't see how you're affording a car. How'd you get this car? You know, I can look at all your, because the law in Spain is if you have a loan, you have to pay for it from a Spanish bank account or credit card. So everything is tightly woven in the tax man. As they say in Spain, he knows the color of your lips. I think something lost in translation there, but you get the notion. Whereas here in the U.S., we have our IRS is somewhat hindered, all right? And I think it's good because politicians tend to abuse the tax authority. Whether, it depends on who's in power, whether it's Democrats, Republicans.
This is terrifying.
It gets manipulated. So I think it's good that we keep the IRS on a tight leash financially. That's why I'm very disturbed by all this money that's been given to them, because the first thing they're going to do is give themselves all raises. Yeah. And you're right, they are having problems staffing. But,
they'll have to also tie to their daddy Gary Gensler probably.
What they're doing is, I have.
Where's Dirty Gary at? Is he here?
They audit people by. They know how much money you get from a W-2 and a 1099 when people pay you. They've now gathered enough information from the U.S. exchanges that they can see how much purchases you made in a year, not the profit, but how much your sales were on each exchange on each year. And they can look at that and then the computers can go back onto your tax return and say, did he report this amount of, they call it positive income, not the expense, positive income. And by that means, they can then select and drill into who's not reporting. And it's going to be much more computer driven. So they're using.
How many of you guys are not reporting your taxes? The IRS is in the room.
There are IRS people here.
Oh no! Put your hand down, sir.
I was told that there are 3 people from the Internal Revenue Service who asked for that to be taken off their badge.
Yeah, it's me. I'm one of them. I'm here. I'm a deep state psyop. Ask Mark Moss. Look, I want to say this, Clint. What you're talking about is terrifying, actually, when it comes to CBDCs. Like, think about this. Think about now they're going to have access with a CBDC to see everything that you're doing. They can question your financial decisions. They can cut you off if they want to cut you off. And here's the thing that really scares me about this. It's going to be so much more convenient for everybody. It's going to be so much more convenient. Imagine if you didn't have to go to your tax guy because everything is already internally put in. People would be like, dang, I don't have to go to H&R Block and just get my blood money refund? Cool. That's what people are doing with banks today. You know, when you see people talking about a bank run on Tether, and if all of a sudden all the companies that borrowed Tether went after their $65 billion back, they would be insolvent. And people are scared by that. But that's the way that our banking system works today. If we all went to our bank and withdrew our money, they're all insolvent. Every single one of them is insolvent. And yet we still trust and we still put our money there. I don't. I had all my bank accounts cut off because I had a Coinbase wire. And so after 20 years, they closed my bank account. Imagine how easy it's going to be for people to just get into this system and say, oh my gosh, this is so much more convenient. I love it, and to be all for it. This is why you guys are here. Y'all are not the sheeple. You know, the people that are out there that favor convenience and the banking world over this new decentralized economy they're working for, they're all sheep. And unfortunately, the CBDC is going to be ushered in, and it's going to hurt a lot of people, I believe. So.
It will be easy.
It will be easy. The revolution will not be televised, but it will be easy, and you will lose all your money. So, Glenn, thanks so much for sitting on stage with me and talking about the
Thanks, everyone. Pay your taxes.
World. Speaking of people that don't pay their taxes, here's Crypto Video.
Make sure to wait for me backstage. I got to tell you something.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm in trouble. The IRS is waiting for me back there,
They're
guys.
waiting for us back there. Remember last DCENTRAL when there was actual feds while we were talking, and I got you?
I also remember at the last DCENTRAL where you said you would hit me, but you don't hit women. I'm still recovering from that burn. Thank you.